So Heidi, you have 3 little boys. Tell us a little bit about your pregnancy with your second son, Ashton.
We went in for our 20-week ultrasound, and they were doing just all the measurements that they always do. And I do remember it seemed to take a while, but at the same time, like, my husband and I were just enjoying the pictures, and, like, I don't know, the time passed because we were just watching
your baby.
it and, yeah, enjoying it. But then after the ultrasound, they asked if we would step into the doctor's office. They just started saying that he had these cysts in his brain, and they said a lot of times that can be associated with a chromosome disorder called trisomy 18. And I had never heard of that. I didn't even know what it was. And so I remember, I think I just must have been really quiet, and just because I didn't know what they were saying and I was kind of confused, and they were talking about meeting with a high-risk specialist, and so we could discuss termination. And so that's kind of just all I was hearing. And I don't really remember answers. I just remember being confused and just overwhelmed, and just a paper in my hand of, you need to go see this person to discuss like termination.
Ending the pregnancy.
Exactly. By the grace of God, and it was definitely a miracle, but like, the cyst had gone down, and they said, it's very likely, because I forget how far along I was at that point, but I was pretty far along, and they're like, it's very likely that they'll go down more and they'll most likely be gone when he's born. And so at that point, there was absolutely no mention of any type of diagnosis anymore, and the conversation just shifted dramatically.
And so Ashton was born healthy and is doing great?
He's just this
healthy and normal.
Normal, yeah, bundle of
and
craziness.
He's how old now?
He's 4.
4.
I was told that it's pretty much impossible to have a cleft-affected child, just an isolated cleft-affected child, if he isn't your first. And I was told that statistically, because of that, he is going to be born with a myriad of chromosome issues, and that my husband and I would not be capable of caring for him. And I felt very pressured to make a decision to find out if he had other issues, and just to make a decision that we weren't the right fit for him, and to make the decision that his life wasn't worth giving it a shot. Our son was born early, but he was about a month and a half early. But he is thriving, and all he had was just the cleft lip. He didn't have the cleft palate. So he's already had his surgery, and even though I miss his wide smile, he is just beautiful, and he has the most beautiful dimples, and he's doing wonderfully.
And no other complications or chromosomal issues or anything?
No, nothing.
So Heidi, tell me how you connected with Abba Care to share your story.
There's a lot of friends that I have and people that I know that have found themselves on the end of possible bad medical diagnosis.
And being faced with a difficult
decision. And being faced with a moment of not feeling like they are allowed to make a decision. Also, feeling like I did and my friend felt like we just had nowhere to go. We didn't know what doctors to go to. We didn't know what friends to speak to. We didn't know anyone that had experienced some of the things that we were going through.
Sure.
We just didn't have that safe space to process information and get just vetted medical referrals from other people. We didn't have that. And so we were just talking back and forth of like, wow, like this is crazy, and it'd be so neat if, like, you know, you went through that and I went through that. It'd be so neat if we could help other people that have been faced with something and just walk alongside with them. The next morning, my phone dings and I get a text message from you. And it was something along the lines of like Abba Care is thinking of this focus group, and specifically about coming alongside families, coming alongside parents that have heard of a possible, like they've gotten news of a possible diagnosis. I did not even text you back. I picked up that phone and I called you.
Called right away.
And I was so excited because all I could think of was like my friend and I had just been talking about this. And and it was just so amazing to
really felt like a God moment of connection.
It put a fire in me of excitement. Because we had just been talking about it, and we had just been talking of like, how could we be a part of something like this?
So Heidi, as we've talked about, Ashton is doing great. Logan is doing great. God did mighty miracles with both of your boys, and things turned out well, relatively normal, you know, a little bit of medical things to keep an eye on here and there, but for the most part, you know, the prognosis is just awesome for your boys. But we do know that for some families in this situation, the prognosis might not be as good. And they might be facing either, you know, a child that is not going to survive past birth, or even to the end of the pregnancy, or that may have lifelong medical issues and complications that will need to be addressed, but they're still facing this decision. What do you think that a program that Abba Care can put together, what can we do for families that maybe are facing something like that?
You know, the prognosis may be grim, but I feel like when you have a shift in conversation from a death sentence to hope and enjoying maybe the little time you would have while your child's in utero, or having a network of people coming alongside you to just make that time as joyful as it could be, to also, you know, be there for you for when the trials come, when and if they come, to help you process, you know, each new diagnosis or each new doctor's appointment, or, you know, each new medical equipment you got to figure out how to navigate, just to have people come alongside of you and have that network. I think it's so important. I have a passion about this program that you guys are starting, and I think it's very much needed. I think it's so cool that your mission statement is to equip with truth and empower with hope, because I feel like that's a perfect visual of this program. And it's just showing that we want to equip these families and these parents with truth, that there's options, that we have choices, and we can empower them with hope that, you know, there is a clear road ahead.